Well, it's a really nice day today. It is Wednesday, November 6th, I think, 2025. Still 2025, you know, we can't seem to get past that, but we're working on it. So today I thought I would take the monster trike and head over to Belle Plaine, Minnesota. There's a trail that goes from Belle Plaine to Jordan, to Shakopee, and all the way to Nebraska. I don't know. It goes a long ways. And the first part of it, from Belle Plaine to Jordan, and maybe a little beyond that, is crushed limestone. I don't want to say gravel, because as soon as you say gravel, everybody goes, oh, you can't ride a bicycle on gravel. It's crushed limestone, and if it's anything like the LBR, which is by Shakopee, it's pristine. That was really nice trail. It was crushed rock, it was smooth, it was a lot of fun riding down that one. The paved trails can actually be a lot worse if they've got expansion cracks in them and they haven't been patched properly. A lot of times they'll just dump tar into the cracks, so you end up with an inverted speed bump. So that's not nice. I'm going to take the kind of the back roads here, just because I can. But anyway, so the LBR and some of these crushed limestone trails are actually pretty good. And I've got the fat tire trike, so if it's a little bit sketchy, that's, you know, fine. The only way you find out is you just got to go try it. And if it turns out to be not the best trail, I will report that. Because that's what I do, is I'm trying to document these trails, you know, how I viewed them as far as quality and scenery and road conditions, all that kind of stuff. So we'll see if we can get that done for you. So it's about a, 12-mile drive from my house to the trailhead, so not too bad. And yeah, I had to fix this flat tire on the trike this morning. That was one of the downsides, you know, I didn't consider. Going from the knobby tires to the smooth tread, it doesn't, just a tack on the road will puncture the tire, or with the grippers, it's going to have to be at least a half-inch long to get even close to the inner tube. So I fixed it. You know, it's got a patch on it. We'll see if it holds. If it doesn't, I got an air compressor and another tube and tire wrenches and all that. So worst case scenario, it'll just have to be fixed. But it's been holding pressure, so we're probably good. So anyway, that is my lead up. We'll get on the trail and do a little bit of a picture-esque drive, and I'll report on that when I'm all done. Well, I got over here to Belle Plaine, and as you can see, the bike sits back on this carrier I built pretty nicely. Now that's a regular 2-bicycle carrier that I modified. I took the upright and made this extra leg here to hold this wheel. And as you can see, planning ahead, I set it up so that it's got a tilt to it. So that back wheel is actually at an angle. The bike leans toward the car. That way if I go over a driveway approach or something, the back wheel doesn't drag, and it never has. So it's working the way it's supposed to. So I'm going to go ahead and unload it. The only thing that holds it in place is this one strap. I just put the strap there. If it can't go up, it can't move. So I'm going to go ahead and take that strap off and set the camera down, because I cannot do two things at once. Okay, now use your imagination. Got the strap off. I'm going to lift the bike about 4 inches, take 3 steps backwards, and set it down. The reason I'm saying that is I can't hold this phone, record, and lift this bike and do all those things. So imagine I'm doing it now. Well, that was easy. I did exactly as I described. And as you can see, this is the way the carrier goes on and everything. And it works out very nicely. And it didn't take long to build this thing, probably an hour. And I did have to widen it when I got the fat tire. So it's been expanded. I just got another hitch like this, and I'm going to build that one for my wife's car to hold her trike. So that'll be nice. So I'm going to hit the trail here. Well, here I'm entering the Minnesota Valley Trail, and right away I see it's just grass. I was thinking it was crushed limestone, and here I'm trying to think, do I go left? Do I go straight ahead? Do I go right? What do I do? So I thought I'll just go this way. And it's grass, but it's actually not too bad. I could tolerate this. This would be fine. And for the most part, it's actually pretty smooth. Here it starts to turn a little bit more into like dirt. So I'm kind of wondering, well, is this what the trail is going to look like? And it's not good. There's a lot of big boulders sticking out, a lot of tree roots, and if it was wet out at all, this would be all mud. So I was not real thrilled here. And as I cruised along, it really got worse as I went along, and then I hit this, which was I could have moved it, it would have been okay, but I thought, nah, I'm just gonna turn around and go elsewhere. So I'm parked just east of Shakopee, and this is the Minnesota Valley State Trail. And it is, as far as conditions, pristine. It is extremely smooth, and I called it a fast trail because it's fairly flat, and it's really smooth, and you just kick her down and go as fast as you want. So I was doing probably pedaling pretty fast. I was probably doing 16, 17 miles an hour here, which is a little more brisk than I usually go. And just went past what used to be Murphy's Landing. Now it's just called The Landing. And the Three Rivers Park District actually, I think, took it over. And it is actually free. You can go in there and you can look around. It's just a bunch of old buildings and stuff. So pretty interesting. And it's just part of the park district for Scott County. Now the downside to this trail is there's really not what I would call a pretty trail, because it's just a trail that borders the highway. And as you can see, there's a lot of cars and stuff going by, and a lot of noise from the cars, and it's not what you would call a, back in the woods, kind of get away from it all trail. This is just the opposite. It's, kind of busy and not what I'm used to, I guess. There isn't much elevation change. I would have to say it's, for the most part, pretty flat. So I didn't do any gear shifting, didn't do anything of that. Just pretty much just cranking along. This is quite a contrast from where I started, where it was, you know, not a very good trail at all. And this is just the opposite. I did yell at this guy, or not yell, I just said, you know, on your left. He didn't hear me. He had headphones on and stuff, so I was able to just kind of sneak by him without, you know, spooking him or anything like that, because, you know, you want to be respectful to people. And I think I'm coming up here on, well, this is actually the landing. You can go in here, and if you take a left here, you can actually go check out the sites there and stuff. And this is a grain mill off to the left here, and grain storage. That's been there for as long as I can remember. I don't know if that's part of Cargill or not. Could be, I don't know. And here's Valley Fair, which is, you know, pretty big amusement thing. Notice how green the grass is? Yeah, it's fake. It's AstroTurf. But, yeah, this is Valley Fair, and that right there is like a ride I would definitely not go on. Yeah, I would, I think I'll just keep it moving right along here. It's actually closed for the season, which is good, because if it wasn't, there'd be a lot of traffic right here. A lot of scary stuff in there. Yeah. Little pothole dodging there. It's quite a big park, too. And now I'm coming down to, this is the old highway that went, kind of, I believe this is the old Bloomington Ferry Bridge crossing. So the trail kind of turns into this road. And this does, you know, this car traffic that comes in here, but it's dead end. So this is the old road that used to cross the river. And I'll be going under the new bridge, which I guess new, these cyclists driving like a maniac. Anyway, cruising through here, and as you can see, the gates are pretty open. I think there are hunters down here, like right there. I did see quite a few vehicles by the trail, so I think, I don't know if it's duck or pheasant or what. I'm not an animal shooter guy anymore, so I don't know. And this is the newer Bloomington Ferry Bridge. So 3 bridges, that's kind of cool. This road is actually pretty good. You know, the trees have lost all the leaves, so they're sticks. And right here, the road for car traffic turns right. For bike traffic goes straight ahead. And I did have to kind of give this a little bit of thought. This is a spillway, and it looks not steep. It's a really steep incline. This is like zoom, and then back up. And then there's a metal gate here, or a bridge kind of thing. And there is a stream that goes under that. And here the trail kind of falls apart. It's in dire need of something, like help. especially in this part right here. Without a fat tire bike, I would not go through here. I'd get off the trike and I'd walk it through, because this section here is incredibly rough. Now I'm geared way down and I'm doing 1 mile an hour through a lot of this, maybe 2. And this guy on his skateboard, he's not going to do well. He's going to have to walk. But this only goes on for a couple hundred feet, and then it actually turns into what I would call a normal woodland trail. And yeah, this is pretty much normal. It's a good trail. I was up to maybe 13, 14 miles an hour here, which is pretty much a classic speed. Another biker. Darn bikers. Anyway, cruising along. I didn't see any animals on this trail, which kind of surprised me. I think I did see 1 squirrel, but normally you see critters when you're out in the wilderness parts, especially down by the river. And coming up here, I believe, is the fenced area. So this is elevated, and they fence it really to keep people from skidding off the sides and falling off a cliff, because this does go uphill, and it is a little bit of a drop if you veer off. Got a little puppy dog thing going on here. You see people with dogs. They're always friendly. So I'm crossing over the river here, and I stopped at the top and took some photographs, which I'll show at the end. This leads into a parking lot, and I was a little confused at first as to where do I go from here, because it just kind of goes into this parking lot. And there is a trail off to the right, but it's a grassy thing, mainly walking. I don't think it would be suitable for me to go down that. So here I'm on the parking lot. It's like, okay, where do I go now? But I kind of spotted the trail over there, so I zoomed around this truck, and there she is. This trail looked like it was brand spanking new. Got the center line thing going on here. And I got this lady here standing right in the middle of the road. So I was kind of a little tentative going around her. She never noticed me. I was on the phone there. And this is extremely steep. So I would downshifted a bunch and was pedaling pretty good here. Doesn't look like it, but take my word for it. So I'm actually in Highland right now, which is Bloomington. And I wasn't real sure where this really went to. So I went around this truck here. They were doing some tree work off to my left. And I decided at this point I should just turn around. This is a little bit not exactly fun. So, I mean, it was fun, but I just didn't want to go any further. And this guy, he had a generator sitting on the trail there, so he pulled that back. Probably a good thing, because I would have grabbed it and skittered down the highway here, and I would have had a free generator. Actually, not really, but it was nice he got out of my way. So it's nice downhill from here. And I was riding the brakes all the way down this hill pretty hard because it's quite steep. And I thought, gee, I wonder if they actually turn red when you grind on them that hard and that long. Quite a difference from going the other direction. And I kind of played dodge the pedestrian here. They didn't know which way I was going, so they were kind of moving around and trying to stay out of my way. And back over the bridge. So I'm basically just going back the way I came. This part too was downhill. And there's this post right at the end here. And I had to make sure I didn't clip that with one of the wheels. That would have been a disaster. Another biker. Rough spot. And here we're back in the spillway. This time I get to go up. So right here you kick her down. And we made her just fine. Mid-drive motors do have a lot of torque, so I didn't have any trouble really going up that. It was fairly steep, probably 45-degree angle, which would be, what would that be in percentage? 90% grade. On this section, which is the roadway going back to the parking, intermediate parking lot, I thought I'm going to throttle this thing and just see how fast it'll go. And true to form, as a level 2 bike, it got up to 20 miles an hour and just stayed there. It actually held pretty good at 20 miles an hour. So I guess as a level 2, it passes the mustard. Well, I'm finishing up for today. Got my ride in. It was not what I expected. I knew the trail was going to be non-paved. I didn't know it was going to be rocks, sticks, mud, dirt, and trees falling over the trail. So I started in Belle Plaine. I went about a half a mile, and there was a tree laying across the trail, and before that it was grass and dirt and a lot of rocks, big rocks. I mean, I was driving 2 and 3 miles an hour and averaged about 6 once I got in the little better spots. But I turned around, I said that was enough of that. So then I stopped in Jordan, and the trail's closed. So then I went to Shakopee, and I got on the state trail in Shakopee and went from there all the way to Highland Park. So that was about I don't know, I suppose 8 miles or so. I would call that a very fast trail for the most part. It's very smooth, and there's no real scenery. It's basically next to the highway, so you've got a lot of highway traffic just right next to you. And I kicked her down in the highest gear and averaged about 17 miles an hour, which is faster than I go on most trails. You know, the wooded trails and that, I usually run 12 and 13 miles an hour because there's stuff to see, and this trail really had nothing to offer except it was very, very smooth until you went underneath the Bloomington ferry bridge. Then things turned sour for a while. I had it dropped into the lowest gear. I was doing 1 or 2 miles an hour, and there were patches where it dropped 4 inches or better. I mean, I'm glad I had the fat tire because my other trikes would have never made it. There's no way I would have took a trike with 20-inch wheels on that portion. And there was one spot where it was kind of a spillway, so you went basically straight down and then straight up. And you had to time it just right, so you got the motor engaged while you were pushing pretty hard. So that was kind of fun. And after that is when the trail really got bad for about maybe 200 feet. I mean, it was really bad. And then it went pretty good after that. Then I was, back to like normal speeds. Crossed over the river into a park area. And after that, the trail was like pristine, brand new, had the center line on it and everything. And that went up into Highland. And that was a really steep hill. I mean, I had her geared down pretty good, and I was pedaling. That was quite a steep trail. So on the way back, it was quite brisk. But once I got into Highland, it was like, well, I'm driving in the metro now. So there again, I turned around. So I was going to try to put on about 40 miles today. I put on 18. So less than half of what I wanted to do. But, the way you find out about these trails is you have to go ride on them. There really isn't much information. It kind of tells you where trails are and stuff. But there's no real description on what to expect, So you really have to go there and you have to try them. And I gave this one a shot, and I will probably never do it again. It wasn't a waste of time, and it was good. I enjoyed quite a bit of it, but it wasn't my taste. I would have much rather gone to Cannon Falls or Cicada Trail or one of those where it's more wooded. I kind of like going through those a lot better. And I should have done the LBR, which was, just quarter mile north of there. But I already did that one, so I thought, well, I'll try something new. Which I did. So, got that out of the way. But I would say this trail was, at best, okay. And I'm going to leave it at that.